All right. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to our meeting of the Beaumont Planning Commission of October 22nd, 2025. I will call this meeting to order at 6 p.m. Can we have a roll call, please?
Yes, sir. Commissioner Cooley, Commissioner Coblin, Commissioner Cueva,
Present.
Vice Chair Smith,
Here.
Chairman Southard.
Here. Do we have any requests of any excused absences?
Stephen, did we have any requests for absences this evening that came through?
Not that I know of. I'll check right now. I don't think so.
I will notate it once we go through email and double check.
Thank you.
Perfect. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. We'll now stand to do the Pledge of Allegiance. Commissioner Cuevas, would you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, please? Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, do we have any adjustments to the agenda tonight?
We do have one adjustment. We're going to move the zoning code ordinance up to the first item and then followed by the tentative track maps. Okay. So that was item C4.
Okay. Do we need to make a motion on that, or? No, okay, perfect. All right, do we have any conflicts of interest disclosure for tonight? Seeing none, we'll go ahead and move to item B, our public comment period for items not on the agenda. This meeting will be open to the public and conducted in a virtual format to be inclusive of all participation preferences. Public comment participation is encouraged by emailing any comments to the city clerk's office or by calling and using the phone number provided on the front of the agenda. Do we have any public comments on items not on the agenda tonight?
Not for this portion of the agenda. Vivian, do we have any callers on the line?
No callers.
Thank you. That moves us to item C, action items, public hearings and requests. Item C1 is approval of the minutes. Can I ask for a motion to approve our minutes?
So moved. Second.
All right, I have a motion and a second. Can we have a roll call vote, please?
Commissioner Cueva,
Yay.
Vice Chair Smith,
Yes.
Chairman Southard.
Yes. Okay, that item passes. That moves us on to item C2, which is now our introduction of an ordinance amending Title 17 zoning of the Beaumont Municipal Code. Can we have a staff report, please?
In light of the public comment that we received, which should be at the dais for you, we will be moving to continue the item to a date certain to the November 19th meeting. So that is the staff recommendation for tonight for that item.
Okay. We can go ahead and we need to do a motion to continue. The commission up here, do we have a motion to continue the item?
Is this a public hearing item?
Correct, it is a public hearing item.
So I mean, the only question I would ask if there's anybody that's here tonight, if you want to open the public hearing and continue that to the next meeting as well. And if
Do we have any
that's
speakers
advisable.
for this item?
Yes, sir, I do. If you want to open the public hearing, then we can
Yeah.
hear those two.
Perfect. So we'll go ahead and open the public hearing at 6:04 p.m. Are there any requests to speak?
Sorry, speaker is Luke Fannin.
Good evening.
Good evening, Planning Commission. My name is Luke, and I've been a resident of Beaumont for the last 3 years. I am here to just, align with staff and just say that they've worked really hard on this zoning code update. And because of how big of a change this is, I really recommend going through all of the changes that to the previous code and the existing and the proposed code, and trying to make as many potential issues go away before it even is adopted. It's harder to amend it in the future than it is to just get everything done right now. And that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you for your comment.
Vivian, do we have any callers on the line for item C4?
No callers.
Okay.
Leave open the public hearing, continue the item to the November 19th planning commission meeting.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Can we have a roll call vote, please?
And just for the record, we now have Mr. Cooley and Mr. Coblin here. Commissioner Cooley?
Yes.
Commissioner Coblin?
Yes.
Commissioner Cueva?
Yay.
Vice Chair Smith?
Yes.
Chairman Southard?
Yes. That moves us to our next item, which is C3. This is our tentative track map 38926 and section 15183, California Environmental Quality Act exemption for consideration of a proposed subdivision located at Southern Norman Road and east of Orchard Heights in the residential single-family zone. Can we have a staff report, please?
Good evening, Chairman and Commissioners. Jillian Fountain, Planning Staff. Before you today is a public hearing for consideration of a tentative track map number 38926. On June 12th, 2024, staff received an application for a subdivision of 12.58 gross acres into 49 single-family residential lots, ranging in size from roughly 7,000 to 13,000 square feet, and 4 lettered lots. The project qualifies for Section 15183 CEQA exemption, projects consistent with the community plan and zoning. A public notice was placed in the press enterprise, and property owners within 300 feet were notified on October 12th, 2025 of this public hearing. At this time, staff has received 1 public comment, which has been provided to you tonight. The property is located in this residential single-family zone and has a general plan land use designation of single-family residential. The proposed subdivision aligns with both general plan and zoning code, supporting low-density detached residential development, specifically with policies identified in both general plan, in Goal 3.3, to support development of new housing opportunities as defined by the land use plan contained in the general plan element. Tentative track map TM 2024-0002 is being processed under Beaumont Municipal Code Section 16.04.010, requiring all land divisions to conform to the Subdivision Map Act and local regulations. Approval of the tentative track map does not permit construction, but allows for legal creation of lots, which can be developed in the future, subject to the minor plot plan approval and recordation of the final map. The project is conditioned to ensure that no building permits will be issued until the final tract map is recorded. At this time, staff recommends opening the public hearing and forwarding a recommendation of approval to the City Council for tentative tract map 38926 TM 2024-0002, subject to the conditions of approval, and direct staff to prepare a notice of exemption for the applicant to file with the Riverside County Clerk Recorder. That concludes my presentation, and I'm here if you have any questions.
Perfect. Thank you for your reports. Commissioners, do we have any questions for staff at this time?
My question is on this document that I have in front of me, the handout that was left here at the dais. I'm not seeing that this is landlocked, that this individual is referencing his parcel that's going to be landlocked, and I don't see, I must be missing something.
I think that's for the other item. I may have written,
Oh, you wrote 38926 on this one.
oh, I apologize. That's for 1-4.
Oh, okay.
I apologize. There is a other
No, this
comment,
says-
though.
This one says Norman Road. Yeah.
Oh,
4685
let me-
Norman Road.
I apologize. Let me pull up the map. So the gentleman that provided that comment, He is right next to where that street is for Street B. So his parcel is not landlocked.
He has legal access to the north end. No, I guess is
Yes,
practical
from
access
the
to
north.
but okay.
Okay. And we've informed him, right? That,
We will be giving him a call tomorrow.
okay, thank you. That's all the question I had.
I've got a handful of questions. Some maybe for the applicant when they get up here. But let's see, the drainage is being intercepted from the existing lots. It's proposed ditch in Lot B and Lot C. Who is responsible for maintenance of that ditch? That's going to be city, or is there going to be an HOA form that's going to be responsible for that?
Yeah, we conditioned the storm drains, Lot B, C, and D, to be private, maintained by the HOA.
Okay, so there is an HOA. So with that, I'm assuming they're also maintaining the basin and the alley for Street D?
That's correct. So Lot A through E, all
Okay.
HOA maintained, private.
Wonderful. The alley width at 24 feet makes sense. That's, fire is comfortable with that for secondary fire access?
Yes, fire reviewed it and has his conditions for it as well.
Okay. I did notice on Orchard, was it Orchard Heights North, it's only 20 feet wide, this paved. I know fire typically likes 24. Is there a reason why that one's reduced, or is that something they were okay with as well?
Yeah, they have a condition that there will be no parking along that street. So there's still access for the fire in case there's an emergency.
Okay, so fire is comfortable with the 20-foot in that area?
Yes.
Okay.
Along Orchard Heights, there's a condition to require half width plus 12, which I think fire requires 24 feet minimum. I think that should get them to 24 feet.
Okay. So the condition is greater than what the exhibit shows on the map at this
Correct,
time?
yeah, I think there might be a slight discrepancy in what's shown on the map.
Okay, got it. It looks like everything drains to Lot A. Over on the east side of the project, between lots 29 and 30, there's an easement. Is that just to collect off-site water, off-site stormwater?
No, that easement is a sort of a forward-thinking easement. If there's any development that comes to the open, the undeveloped land to the east, and if that gets annexed into the city,
Okay,
they can tie into,
sewer and water facilities at some point in the future. Okay, that makes sense. And then on section E, there's like a 3-foot block wall with a fence on top of that. So we could be looking at a total of 9 to 10 foot, I suppose, total. Is that going to be any issue with any of the zoning requirements for maximum wall heights? Or maximum fencing height? It's along Street B, the existing property. There's up to looks like about a 3.5 foot retaining wall, and then the fence on top of that. I mean, it seems reasonable, given the conditions, that we would approve that. I just want to make sure that wasn't going to be a problem for. Okay. Okay, those are my questions.
Yeah, we would ensure, Aaron Liang, planning manager. So, been with the city for 3 months. Prior to this, with the city of Beaumont, I worked for County of San Bernardino, City of San Bernardino. But getting back to focus on the topic, we would ensure that in terms of topo layout and conditions of approval would match. There wouldn't be any inconsistency in terms of the height requirements and other applicable provisions in the code.
Thank you.
Any other questions from the commission? Okay. Seeing none, I will go ahead and open up the public hearing at 6:15 PM. Are there any requests to speak on this item?
I do have an email that was submitted that I can read into the record. You also have a copy of it, I believe, with you on the dais. I can read into the record, or if you choose to just receive the paper version, I'll defer to you.
We can go ahead and read it into the record.
This is from Greg Smith. He says, I live on a 1-acre tractor residential. I think there may be some typos in here. Residential at 40685 Norman Road, Cherry Valley. Understand that a development is proposed. See the Mount Vista Homes Track Map 826G. I think it's supposed to be a different number. I'm going to read how it reads. I'm sorry. And Tom and Mary 2024 Track Map 2024-0002. My property is apparently above and in the midst of the new development that is proposed. Prior efforts to build on that property have granted me an easement from the west side of the property along south of Norman Road. That is my only access, and I have the lower 2/3 of my property. It's been that way ever since the property was first built, and I am disabled and can't come to the meeting, but I'm very concerned that my property is not landlocked by this new development. Prior developers have granted me and promised easement so that I can have access to my lower property, and that would be my request. Don't let me be landlocked without access to my lower property. He includes his phone number and would like to know how the item has transpired afterwards.
Thank you for that. Any other requests to speak on this item?
I have no other written requests. Vivian, do we have any callers on the line?
No callers.
Okay, I will go ahead and close the public hearing at 6:17 PM. And we'll bring it back to the commission for discussion.
Just another couple follow-ups on this letter then. So if he's claiming that he has an easement that was granted on the property, this will probably be for the developer. During the title research, was there any evidence that was found of an easement?
Sir, can we have you actually come up to the podium, if you don't mind, and state your name for the record?
Okay.
He'll have access from street deep as far as I can tell. There you go. Brian King with Monte Vista Homes. As far as I can tell, he'll have access. Jillian let me know about this issue, and we both looked at the plan, and I think he's going to have access. I'll reach out to him to see if we can even put a drive approach in at some location that works for him.
Okay. That was going to be my next question, if you
Yeah.
talk with him about potential drive approach.
I don't think there's hardly any cost to us to even do that to cooperate, so.
Right.
Yeah,
Okay. Thank you.
Great, thank you.
no problem. I'll turn this off.
Any other discussion for commission, or does someone want to make a motion for this item?
I would, let me go back to the recommendation on here. Or I'll move to approve as recommended.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Can we have a roll call vote, please?
Commissioner Cooley? Yes. Commissioner Copeland?
Yes.
Commissioner Cueva?
Yay.
Vice Chair Smith?
Yes.
Chairman Southern?
Yes. Okay, that item passes unanimously. That takes us to our next item, which I believe now is C4. This is tentative track map 38914, variance in section 15183, California Environmental Quality Act exemption for consideration of a proposed subdivision located at the northeast block of 11th Street and Michigan Avenue in the Reside. Can we have a staff report, please?
Good evening, Chairman and Commissioners. Jillian Fountain, Planning Staff. Before you today is a public hearing for the consideration of a tentative track map number 38914 and a related variance request submitted to the city on February 27th, 2024. The applicant proposes to subdivide 5.72 gross acres into 19 single-family residential lots, ranging in size from roughly 7,000 to 11,000 square feet with 3 lettered lots. Concurrently, a variance from Beaumont Municipal Code Section 16.12.080.c is requested to allow lot depths exceeding 2.5 times the width, which is not permitted under current standards. The project qualifies for a Section 15183 CEQA exemption, project consistent with the community plan and zoning. A public notice was placed in the press enterprise, and property owners within 300 feet were notified on October 12th, 2025 of this public hearing. At this time, staff has received one public comment and is provided to you tonight, and staff has reached out to the commenter. The property is located in a residential single-family zone and has a general plan land use designation of single-family residential. The proposed subdivision aligns with both general plan and zoning code, supporting low-density detached residential development. Specifically with policies identified in Goal 3.3, to support the development of new housing opportunities as defined in the land use plan contained in the general plan element. Tentative tract map TM 2024-0001 is being processed under Beaumont Municipal Code Section 16.04.010, requiring all land divisions to conform to the Subdivision Map Act and local requirements. The applicant is requesting relief from the maximum lot depth standard as defined in Section 16.12.080.c, which restricts depths to 2.5 times the width. Due to the shape and site constraints of the parcel and compliance of that would render meaningful subdivision impractical. The request is made pursuant to BMC Section 17.02.110 and Code Section 65906, which allow relief due to special circumstances such as lot shape, topography, or surroundings. And approval of this variance shall not exempt the applicant from compliance with all other applicable development standards and requirements of the municipal code. Approval of the tentative map does not permit construction, but allows for legal construction of lots, which may be developed in the future with a minor plot plan approval and recordation of a final map. The project is conditioned to ensure that no building permits will be issued until the final map is recorded. At this time, staff recommends opening the public hearing and forwarding a recommendation of approval to the City Council for tentative tract map number 38914, TM 2024-0001, subject to the conditions of approval, and approve variance 2025-0025 to allow the lot depths to exceed 2.5 times the width, and direct staff to prepare a notice of exemption to file with the Riverside County Clerk Recorder. This concludes my presentation, and I'm here if you have any questions.
Thank you for your report. Commissioners, do we have any questions for staff?
What is the standard width on lots? Is the width going to be, how close is it to it? This proposed?
So we currently don't have a standard width in the zoning code. So
it's just the
based on
depth that's
just
the issue?
Mhm.
Thank you.
So my question's in reference to the other letter that I have. So the way I understand it, they have an orchard that's on the east side of the property. Am I correct?
So
Just south of Lot A.
So they're on, they're off of Pennsylvania Avenue. And so they are butt up against the parcel that's going to be off of 12th Street.
Okay. So the concern is about their fencing?
So what had happened with their lot was they were doing weed abatement, not them, but for that parcel, there was weed abatement being done and it caught fire and burned their fencing into their yard. So they were just making note that in hopes with this new development that that fence is going to be replaced once the development is complete.
Which is a requirement of the development, is to put fencing around
Yes,
their
sir.
property, yeah.
So we have that 6-foot proposed around it.
Mm-hmm.
And then I did read in the conditions of approval that an HOA is going to be set up. They're going to maintain Lot B and the proposed drainage easement, correct?
That is correct.
And then their access point is Lot B and also this one area off the cul-de-sac on the adjacent track map?
The access for the HOA?
Yes, to get in there to do.
Yes,
any
so at the end
repairs.
of the cul-de-sac and then off of 11th Street, they'll have access to Lot B.
Okay. That's all I have.
I've got, this is a weird piece of property. Lot C, some questions there. So I can see that from the topo that was done, that there's some encroachments beyond the property line for the owners that are to the west. But Lot C, it's going to be one owner, but it looks like there's multiple encroachments from other properties within it. You know, is there a reason that that's not being considered for subdivision to provide that excess land back to the adjacent homeowners?
There was discussion about what's currently labeled as, or identified as Lot C. Originally, they had labeled it as a proposed grant easement. I think they were going to grant it to those parcels. When we asked for a little bit more clarification, they actually said that they were going to move forward with a lot line adjustment.
Okay.
Essentially, the impacted parcels would be APN 415-200-027, 26, and 25. So those three parcels that are adjacent to Lot C.
Okay.
However, they could not do that prior to planning commission, prior to entitlement.
You have to create the lot in order to make the adjustment on it.
Yes,
Okay.
so in the interim, our staff's recommendation is to create this separate lot
Okay.
that's HOA maintained until they move forward with the lot line adjustment.
So 020 has got that little kind of wedge on it. But you can only do 4 lots on a lot line adjustment. So there's a remainder piece of Lot C, so is there going to be like a separate merger or something like that to merge that remainder with 020? I guess you could do it that way.
I think that's an option that wasn't discussed. The three parcels that were communicated to us were
25, 26, and 27.
They were just going to extend those
Yeah.
property lines.
Yeah. Is that a condition of approval to perform that lot line adjustment?
It's not, no.
Okay. I would consider making that a condition prior, maybe like final occupancy or something like that. It can be, at some point, just to make sure that it gets done. You don't end up with this weird, this weird remainder Lot C that nobody wants. Okay. And then the water quality on this, so the subdivision on Street A drains to a water quality basin and then out through a drainage ditch to 11th Street. Have they indicated, the preliminary study show that land will infiltrate in that area? Because there doesn't appear to be a drain from the bottom of the basin.
That's something that I would need to go back and verify.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because that would be a concern there is that, I've got some, we have some basins that don't infiltrate and ends up with just standing water and becomes an issue. So just to make sure that there's an alternate, if it doesn't infiltrate, that we have an alternate to pipe water out of there so it doesn't sit for too long. And then the lots that are along Michigan Street, because the subdivision is more than 19 lots, how is water quality being addressed with those?
So those lots are going to have individual
Okay.
BMPs at each lot. So
Okay.
presumably infiltration trenches located in the front yard.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Great. Any other questions from the commission? Seeing none, I will go ahead and open the public hearing at 6:29 PM. Are there any requests to speak on this item?
Yes, sir. I have a couple in person and then an email. First person is Daniel Tista.
All right. Please come up to the podium and state your name for the record, please.
Good evening, Daniel Tista. I live currently in Michigan on 11th, and I'm opposed to the construction, the new land that they're trying to propose there. I have going on 6 years there. Reminds Beaumont of what Beaumont is, a little tight community. My neighbors are behind me. We bought with the purpose of an unobstructed view of the mountains It doesn't look like we're all like sardined in like a lot of communities and neighborhoods here in Beaumont. We love the fact that we know everyone on the street. We know everything that happens in that neighborhood. And to bring in, it's like buying a beach house property and then another person buying a house right in front of you. And you're not going to be able to see, why we purchased that land for. So I'm here just opposed to basically having houses right in front of us, making everything look like nowadays everyone's crammed into a spot. If someone wants to buy a new house, there's plenty of homes up on Olive Estates or whatnot. That's my only 2 cents. And thank you for your time.
Thank you for your comment.
Next speaker is Gabe.
Hi, good evening. My name is Gabe Hamoya. I also live on Michigan Ave. I have the same concerns, other than also the fact that it seems like kind of a really small lot for so many individual parcels that are going to be put on it. Are these parcels going to be sold as individual parcels, or is it going to be one complete unit? And also, is there going to be an alleyway behind it for access to the back of their property? Or what is the major plan for that? Other than that, like I said, we have a great view, but I know time goes on, moves on. But my main concern, like I said, is it's a small piece of property, kind of weird, but that seems like an awful lot of parcels are being put on one piece of property. And also, where are they going to egress? On a Michigan or 11th? And what's the traffic going to be like? Is it going to double it right now or worse? So, other than that, that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you for your comment.
And then I do have an emailed comment. I'll check with the phone lines first. Vivian, do we have any callers on the line?
No callers.
This is from an Erhard Hoffman. It states, "My wife and I have resided in our home here since 1979. We have seen many changes in Beaumont, some good, some not. Regarding tentative track map 38914 and variance V 2025-0025, we are not opposed to the proposals. The field adjacent to our home, which was a beautiful cherry orchard when we moved here, has been an unsightly fire hazard for far too many years. We recently endured a fire at the end of June which destroyed 160 feet of composite fencing and scorched some of our landscaping. I have since re-landscaped and replaced 80 feet of fencing. Due to the fact that I believe the city of Beaumont, due to the lax code enforcement, the developer for allowing property to regress to that state, and even an adjacent neighbor for not properly maintaining his lot, I did not want to pursue remuneration. I paid all expenses to repair the property with the exception of dump fees, which were handled by the contractor who started the fire, who felt bad regarding the situation. I opted not to replace my damaged front fence, as I assume a fence or wall will be put in place. In the meantime, the original chain link fence will suffice. So hopefully this project will be completed in a timely manner with minimal disruption to the current residents. Respectfully, Erhard and Patricia Hoffman, and they are at 1170 Massachusetts. No other comments.
Thank you. We'll go ahead and close the public hearing at 6:34 PM. And we'll bring it back to commission for discussion.
So while the public comments were happening, I did go on Google Maps because you can do quick measurements on there. The proposed width of the lots on these tentative maps are 52 feet. Looks, 52 feet, 52 feet wide. It looks like the properties to the north are about 58 feet wide, and the properties across the street are right about 60 feet wide. So the subdivision is consistent with the character of the neighborhood that does surround it. So it's not looking at anything that's significantly more dense or different than what both sides of the streets of Michigan are, or the streets surrounding it. Yeah, so that I just mentioned that.
How many less lots would you have if you didn't approve that variance? I'm just concerned with.
Yes, sir. If you would like to make a public comment, you can come up to the podium. We'll
have to open the public hearing back up.
Yep, and we'll go ahead and open the public hearing back up at 6:35 PM.
I'd like to know how many less lots, if you didn't approve the variance, how many, we got 19 lots, would it drop it down to 16 lots? Would it be not as dense if we didn't approve that variance for width and depth?
I think we would probably want the applicant to answer that question. But I'm also guessing that based on a lot of the character of these lots, that everything in the area is not compliant with that requirement also.
Well, my concern is, and I don't have the history of what happened on the corner of Orange and 12th Street, but there's a parcel that's getting developed there that's got 4 residents, which I think is way too dense for Beaumont. And I'm concerned that this is going to carry over, and if we don't stop throwing that many dwellings onto a single residential lot, we're going to be in trouble.
So for each of these lots, it'll only be one residence on each lot for this map specifically.
Right, but it would be less dense if we didn't approve that variance.
Yes,
And
and
it
that,
might bring us down to 17 lots.
yes, and for a definite answer on how many it would drop it down to, we would need the applicant, which I believe he may be on the line.
Chair, if I may. It's a good question, sir, that you're brought to this tonight. Unfortunately, it's not part of the proposal for consideration. What's being presented this evening is, as shown here, as proposed. And so that would be a different discussion, re-layout, redesign, all of that. But the discussion here is for this consideration on this proposal. And I'd like to note that Vice Chair Smith noted earlier, and I just wanted to compliment that, as proposed, it is consistent with the zoning designation, the general plan policies in accordance with the documents for the city of Beaumont. And this evening, for consideration, is as proposed.
But the city of Beaumont has to approve the variance to allow the width and depth.
It is part of the consideration.
So I'd like to go on record saying I'd be against that, just to keep, if it's only 3 lots less, it's not as dense.
I appreciate the comment. Thank you, sir.
Sir, could I get your name for the record, if you don't mind?
Ron Nordman.
Thank you.
Thank you. And we'll go ahead and close the public hearing again at 6:38 PM. And bring it back to commission.
I have a question for staff, if you have the information. Obviously, there's access to the lots from the front of the property. Is there any access from the back, or will the only access to the back of the lot be through the lot?
The only access would be from the front of the parcel.
Okay. And those lots are how deep?
Let me pull up the map. Off of Michigan, let me zoom in. 165.
How many?
165 in length.
Thank you.
Depth, sorry.
Any other discussion from commission? Or does anyone want to make a motion?
I do understand the neighbor's concern on there, but, I think that the parcels that are all existing and surrounding are also non-conforming with the same 2.5 times the width setback requirement. It is consistent with the existing homes. The lots are a little bit narrower, but not significantly. And I think you'd probably, the delta would probably be 1 lot on that street, so it'd be 9 homes instead of 10. So with all that, I think that we find that this can be made consistent with the existing neighborhood. And as such, I would move to approve. If there's any other consideration on that for making a motion.
I would second.
So the only thing I would say is that I would like to add a condition on there to make sure that the lot line adjustments are recorded for Lot C. Question for staff before I do. It does mention that the houses would be developed at a later date. Is there a development plan for this, or is this intended to be kind of sold off and developed as single-family parcels?
There will be a development plan.
There's a development plan? Okay. So yeah, so I would say, some condition, some milestone condition that we have on there that's reasonable for staff as far as completing the lot line adjustment and lot merger for Lot C.
Understood. We'll get that incorporated.
Okay, we have a motion and a second with that recommendation. Can we have a roll call vote, please?
Commissioner Cooley?
Yes.
Commissioner Koblet?
Yes.
Commissioner Cueva?
Yay.
Vice Chair Smith?
Yes.
Chairman Southern?
Yes. Okay. That item passes unanimously. That takes us to item D, staff comments. Do you have any staff comments tonight?
Yes, we do have staff comments. Thank you, Chair. You've already met our planning manager, so he was able to introduce himself during the item. So I did want to just formally say welcome to Aaron Liang, our new planning manager, helping us get through staffing up completely and totally in the planning division, making sure we're getting projects to you guys in timely manner and in professional fashion. So I'll just let Aaron mention the staff comments for tonight. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Mr. Jones. So this is having to do with your agenda dating back to October 9th of last year, 2024, concerning item C2, plot plan PP 2023-0618, known as AA Fence, quote unquote, located west of Risco Circle and south of West 4th Street, APN 417-220-009. This is a request to construct a 16,000 square foot warehouse building and a 2,700 square foot two-story office area on 1.2 acres in the manufacturing zone located on the southwest corner of West 4th Street and Risco Circle. The Planning Commission took action on that item. And subsequent to your approval, staff discovered there were clerical errors. Staff had inadvertently copied incorrect conditions of approval in the your attachments. See conditions of approval, and we're reporting back to let you know that clerical have the errors have been resolved. And this really is to report for transparency purposes. And that's all I have for the staff comments. Thank you.
Thank you for those comments. That takes us to commissioner comments. Any commissioners have any comments tonight? Commissioner Cooley.
I'd just like to comment that I understand those homeowners who are here who are concerned about their view, and that is a particularly sensitive matter. However, views are not guaranteed, and unless they're codified, we don't have any option there to ensure anybody's view is protected. The only way to protect that is to either purchase a lot where they cannot be anything developed that would obstruct your view, or to purchase that lot yourself to stop it. We're very much aware of that concern, and I understand your concern, but unfortunately, we don't have the legal ability to protect your lot. But we do understand and see where your concern is.
Chair, if I may, if it's any consolation, staff would offer that in terms of height restrictions and requirements, it would be consistent with the surrounding area, so it wouldn't go any higher in terms of height, so that won't hinder or obstruct your view in any way. As noted earlier by Vice Chair Smith, it would be compatible, consistent in terms of land use development, height-wise, elevations, among other things. in terms of the consideration. So staff will ensure through the minor plot plan that the consistency will be carried out so that there wouldn't be any sort of blockage, if you will. Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you, Commissioner Cooley.
No, I was going to say, by your comment, you've opened up the door for the recipients of your comment to have questions for you. So be prepared at some point.
We're here to answer, we're here to serve you, just so that you know. We're also, at the same time, we're here to implement the general plan for the city of Beaumont here. That's the objectives. Thank you.
Perfect. And I'm sure staff will be happy to address any questions after the meeting here. So we're happy to follow up. I just wanted to say I did have the opportunity to attend the Beaumont State of the City. I believe Commissioner Copeland was there as well. So a lot of great and exciting news was shared, a lot of infrastructure projects, new businesses coming. So very exciting to see, and just good things are happening here in Beaumont. So very good to see. And also thanks to a lot of the great work of our planning department here. So thank you for all your hard work. And that's all I have. So with that, we'll go ahead and we will adjourn our meeting at 6:46 p.m.